Our planet is estimated to have 1,300 million litres of water. In other words, 1,300 trillion litres. That's why it is such a beautiful blue colour when seen from space. Despite this astonishing amount, only 2% of this is fresh water. And 3/4 of that is frozen at the poles. Of the remaining water, a large quantity is trapped in the atmosphere and the ground. As a result, the amount of fresh water we can access is very small. Matters are further complicated by the fact that the available water is geographically very unequally distributed. All this has meant that since the beginning of time, fresh water has been a limited and precious resource for humankind, a constant cause for concern, and the origin of a large number of conflicts. How often has man looked at the sea and wondered if it would be possible to turn the salt water into fresh water? Many parts of the world suffer long periods of drought, making the problem of water shortages an extremely important challenge. Catalonia is one of those places. The Catalan government's Department of the Environment and Housing and the Catalan Water Agency is planning various measures designed to meet future challenges and guarantee the supply of drinking water. One important facet of this strategy is the construction of desalination plants. The Department of the Environment and Housing has entrusted the construction and management of such a plant in the Llobregat Basin to the publicly owned company Aigües ter Llobregat, ATLL. This plant will be able to produce 180 million litres a day of fresh water using seawater. The plant is located in El Prat de Llobregat and will take water from the sea through 2 submerged 30-metre deep open intakes. The seawater will be pumped to the shore through 2 2-kilometre long pipelines. These were built using 10 large diameter pipes that were floated from Norway in 500-metre lengths. To sink them to the seabed, they were weighed down with concrete. The pumping station was built on the beach and surrounded with screens. It pumps the seawater to the plant through a 2-metre diameter, 3-kilometre long pipeline. To reach the plant, the River Llobregat had to be crossed. This was the most unique part of the pipeline. The pipes were fed into a guided perforation and pulled through from the plant end. The construction of the plant began with the lowest level, corresponding to the central tanks used to store the different qualities of water involved in the process. To do this, it was necessary to drain the underground water level and to construct sheet piling. To eliminate particles in suspension, the salt water has to go through a flotation and a filtration process, which is carried out in 2 stages, open and closed. 20 closed filters were placed in position on the corresponding foundation surfaces. They were particularly difficult to handle, and their enormous size meant the constant use of special transport. The osmosis building, the true heart of the plant, contains 10 membrane frames. These block the passage of the mineral salts contained in the seawater as it is forced through the membranes by high-pressure pumps. The plant produces 45 litres of fresh water for every 100 litres of salt water taken in. The remaining 55 litres are returned to the sea as brine via the underwater outlet of the Conca de Llobregat sewage treatment plant. The latest generation energy recoverers have also been installed. These use pressure exchange to give an energy saving of 50%. With the aim of reducing the emission of contaminating gases, the plant will have photovoltaic plates installed on the roofs of its main buildings. These will be able to produce more than 1.3 megawatts of electricity. The water obtained in the modules is very pure, although for human consumption it needs certain mineral salts that are added in the remineralization building. Finally, once the water is ready to be supplied, it has to be taken to the Aigües ter Llobregat Fontsanta distribution center in Sant Joan d'Espí. For this, a 12-kilometer pipeline has been built, mostly following the course of the River Llobregat. Other essential buildings for the functioning of the plant are the 220 kilovolt electricity substation, the intermediate pumping station, and the control building. The buildings have also been fitted out with the necessary instrumentation and control equipment. The plant has an extraordinary level of automation, and more than 350 kilometers of electrical and control cables have been installed to handle the 17,000 signals needed to operate the plant with absolute safety and reliability. An environmental monitoring committee headed by the Department of the Environment and Housing has supervised the execution of the building work and has ensured compliance with the conditions set out in the Environmental Impact Declaration. Finally, after 24 months of construction and startup procedures, the Llobregat Basin Desalination Plant is now in operation. The Llobregat Basin Desalination Plant is an extraordinary project that has cost more than 230 million euros, 75% of which was financed under the European Union Cohesion Fund, with the remainder contributed by the Ministry of the Environment and Rural and Marine Affairs and the ATLL itself. The Llobregat Desalination Plant will not only further guarantee the water supply to more than 4 million persons living in more than 100 municipalities, but will also improve the quality of the water. Water is a scarce resource, and its treatment is expensive. The conscientious use of water is the responsibility of all of us.